But yeah, now I'm free and ready for some theory crafting about our future.
What's up, friends?
Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hey Dominic.
What's up, Santi?
Good, all good. What do you have for drinking today?
Drinking? I have actually a gallon of water right next to me.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I'm actually only having snacks because they already drank 3 cups of coffee. I think that's
Damn, Santi.
yeah, that's more than enough for a day, right?
Yeah, I think you're good. Although I knew someone who I used to work with who drank like 11 cups of coffee in a day. It was pretty insane.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a lot.
And if I drink one coffee, I cannot sleep for 2 days. I don't know how those people are even alive.
Same here, Christian. Same here.
Yeah, coffee hits different.
Especially if you are not used to it, it can be, pretty bad for your sleeping schedule.
Yeah, that times is needed. I think I thought that I drank a lot of coffee, but now with what Dominic is saying right now, I think
Yeah, I think you're average now.
Yeah, I think I'm average. What's 3 cups per day compared to
11? Yeah, there's no comparison there for sure. That person had to have the shits. There's no way.
Yeah. I just imagine that Star Atlas.
That's funny.
But I like that a lot of people are joining. It's great.
I just made an announcement in the Interstellar Alliance. We'll see if more people join.
But I'm not tagging here or everyone because I just want to see how it goes first, with the second one that we are hosting. So yeah.
Hello guys.
Hey Jose, man.
Sorry, Santi. I'm fine, man. Sorry, someone just barged in my room and I had to attend them. But yeah, now I'm free and ready for some theory crafting about our future.
Oh man, I love it. I know that you have some cool stuff. But
Yeah.
I would also like to tell everyone who's here that this is like a community chat, so any part of the conversations you want to interrupt or even just say what you want to say, like for real, this is just for hanging out and some theory crafting all together. So just be to interrupt at any time. Have like a casual conversation and a lot of theory crafting. I know that Jose's mind has a lot.
Yeah, guys, I'm excited about today's topic. It's the basic reason for a lot of our community members to join Staratas, right? People are thinking about the transcendence that our metaverse brings them. And everyone has this secret desire. Their imagination runs wild thinking about one of the many careers that they can find themselves into our metaverse. And yes, this is one of my favorite topics because there is a place for everyone under the many suns in the galaxy of Staratas, right? Santi, do you think that we can start already? We have quite the crowd already. Oh, that's cool, guys.
We have a lot of people. I will tag like XP addicts.
Those degens we want to join in, right?
Now that they will want to join.
Sure. Okay, let's wait for you to tag them then. And as Santi was saying, guys, feel free to join and start talking, asking questions. This kind of event is being done here in our community Discord for everyone to be able to join and participate. And this is the fun of it, to share ideas, to do some crazy theory crafting. That's the whole idea of building together with the community, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have mic or you don't want to speak. They're always reading the chat related channel. The conversation type on.
That's awesome. Then, without further ado, let's start. And I would like to start by making a small clarification. For everyone who has read our economical paper, they will see that Star Atlas has actually careers inside the game. And the first distinction that we need to do is the careers inside our metaverse and careers in game structures. For example, the fighter in the game. And that's I believe that the main role that all community members think about doing or partaking when they join Star Atlas. Who doesn't want to drive a Death Star across the space, right, Santi? That's something that we all dream of, and that's pretty exciting. And the careers inside the game, they have a distinction. They have a skill structure. And that's one of the most appealing elements of Star Atlas, in my opinion. Because just like in real life, the more you do something in Star Atlas, the better you get it. You'll be more efficient, you get to unlock perks and abilities, and we don't have much info about how the skills system will work aside from the ability of developing your skill through the use of it. And I think that we might start talking about the careers that we know about already. And there are plenty of them, right? From the janitors, which are very nicely represented by their syndicate, right, Santi? I love that treatment. Are they here? Someone from the
not really.
janitors?
The janitors. I would love to have them.
You see that we can't escape from unions even in the stars, right, guys?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, we'll have a huge range of a huge spectrum of different jobs, and they will revolve around the game structures. So we'll have fighters, we'll have racers, and this one in particular, I think that's gonna be one of the main careers in Star Atlas, because the racer has the ability to join and do many tasks in game. Well, the most obvious one is racing. And Michael has said a few times already that he's really looking forward to develop the racing aspects of Star Atlas. It's like something personal for him. I guess he likes racing games or something like that, because he said the guys are investing a lot of time and skills and theory crafting about making the experience of driving a ship in Star Atlas awesome.
It's a Formula One fan.
Is?
So, yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it explains a lot, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have the professional racers, those guys who will compete and join competitions and leagues in Star Atlas to bring the racing ships to the best of their abilities. Like imagine something like a race of Opal jets and things like that, with the guns blazing and they doing loops near supernovas and stuff like that, while we watch this from, well, basically feeling like we're inside the driver's seat together with him, using our VR technology or using 5 graphics. It's going to be exciting. Even if you are not a fan of F1, You will feel the emotion of the players risking their assets, and and that's something that reminded me of the Fimble Steel Race, right? Nutline and Von Pixel. Those guys are planning of doing crazy races inside the deep space, the high risk zone, where the winner takes all. So yeah, this is a career path. But
Yeah, let me add a little bit of information.
awesome.
You can find, if you have no idea about what we're about, you can find a lot more information and maybe some context. I recommend to have the tab open. The economics white paper on page 8. You'll see that you have some roles or careers that and some detail. At page 8, you guys will see a lot of.
Yeah.
I will let you continue, my man.
Yeah, that's awesome reference, Santi, because the economical paper actually describes lots of the possibilities of the careers. And if you don't want to work as a pro racer competing on leagues and stuff like that, you can always do jobs for other people. You know, Star Atlas will surely need good drivers in every kind of different context. Like people would need to bring or try to deliver rare assets like using your Rainbow On, which will focus on delivery of rare assets, stuffs like anomalies and things like that, which needs to be silent and discreet. You know, so yeah, we'll have lots and lots of stuffs for the racers to join our game and to do all kinds of jobs. And there's the more obvious ones, the ones that will actually make our economy works. Things like, for example, the extractors. You see, well, those mines, those ores, those minerals won't leave the earth by themselves, you know. So people will need to hop in and start doing jobs and start to farm materials, extract materials from the earth, from the different planets, different places. And that's something really interesting, Sandy, because I think that we'll see lots of specializations in Star Atlas. Like when I'm talking about a racer, I'm not saying that you will be able to drive. Of course, you'll be able to drive all ships in the game, but you'll be specialized in one ship. You will need time and skill to master your craft. And everyone in Star Atlas will be able to find their place in our universe, going for the specialization that they want. This is how the economy will get the most value from the players. And Michael talked about this a lot in many town halls, that people should look forward to a specialization in Star Atlas. Because yeah, you can try to be you can try to have a good level of skill in many abilities. But the one thing that people will pay huge amounts of Atlas is for the talent, is for the ability to do something that no one else can do. So you should try to look out to maximize and to focus and go deep in one skill. So let's say you want to be a miner, you want to be an extractor, you go for gold mining and you'll be the one who knows how to most efficiently farm this mineral, you know? And I think that, and there's some cool stuff intertwined with the ability of going deep and maximizing skills. As the economical paper says, for example, one of the perks of being able to being an extractor, you'll be able to use your energy more efficiently. So yes, your mining rigs will use less raw materials in order to farm stuff, in order to extract stuff, and you have increased the resource yield. So yes, and I believe that when we are starting our skill crafting on the early levels of specialization, we will be very inefficient in all our tasks inside Star Atlas. And then as we keep grinding, as we farm, as we develop them, we will see lots of results. Like a master extractor will bring lots and lots more mineral yields than a beginner extractor. He might even damage the ore or the material. I don't know. This is gonna be some cool stuff. You have some profession in mind, Santi, for when your gameplay starts?
I always said that I want to be a bounty.
Yes, sir.
Imagine this, being hunted by Santi. You'll be like, kill me, Santi, it's okay. I will give you my NFTs.
Yeah, I have my fleet of Tufas ready for that.
Yeah, man, imagine.
Are you gonna kill people with your janitor equipment?
Man, I need the janitors here.
Yeah, you're outnumbered right now.
Yeah.
My profession normally was going to be the janitor, right?
Yeah.
Because I just want to take care of the stations and stuff like this, right? But here is one interesting thing that with the Interstellar Alliance and all of our partners were heavily considering. We understand that we'll have all those jobs and professions that we'll be able to choose inside the metaverse. But what we are mostly focusing is how we can create our own jobs, like something separately, or maybe it will be something connected to the already existing professions. But I think that we'll be able to improve them or adjust them based on whatever we need. For example, Santi, you like to be a bounty hunter, and one of the things that we'll be doing is, for example, if someone attacks any of the members or assets from the Interstellar Alliance or the United Metaverse organizations, we'll be putting bounties on people's heads, which will be permanent bounty. For example, this will automatically create constant info of work for all the bounty hunters. And another really serious job that we think that it will be like the most expanded jobs in the metaverse will be the security teams. For example, with our plan to create the Interstellar Stargate system, which we will all use to transport in the metaverse, we are heavily we are going to be heavily invested with funds in the future, but at the moment we're heavily invested just with the planning and how we can create real security jobs. Like, for example, there is security people, personals in shops, in different facilities, government buildings or anything else. So we believe that it will be extremely important for organizations to create their own security teams, doesn't matter which organization, and to literally pay them like monthly salary and to have like some specific purpose. For example, we want to start small, right, with like, let's say 2,000 of people or like 20, 30 people, and slowly expand those security teams. And for example, if we have like one security team of 3 people, and each of those people will be having 8-hour shifts, and their responsibility will be to protect certain station, for example, or to patrol around certain region, or something like this. And it will be really nice to have this type of security because you know very well that those people are under contract, so they will be working legally, they will be registered like legal workers, depending on which nation we decide to choose to employ the people. For example, I'm working here to do exactly this in Iceland, which I think it will be the easiest place from all the connections that I talk with different people so far. I don't really think that it will be very easy to make what we're planning to do in a bigger nation. For example, I was already speaking with this about this with Michael to create like private public organizations with the help of the government, so we can create those unemployment jobs. For example, if people become unemployed, they're going to the government and the government send them to certain companies in order to give them job, and the government often gives like percent of the salaries and the companies are taking care of the rest of the salaries. And if we are able to combine those jobs with, let's say, 1 month of education, blockchain, metaverse education, and then you receive your job and you're starting to earn, I think this will be a really good method. And just for the expansion of the entire ecosystem, it will be really good both for the organizations who are investing part of their income, for example, in those security teams, and it will grow the economy, right? If we have hundreds and eventually thousands of people in the metaverse just working and being able to earn a living wage out of it, I think it will be really interesting.
Hey guys, for those who don't know, Christian is the representative of the Interstellar Alliance. And it is as exciting as it is scary when he says that he's hiring bounty hunters to hunt down his bounties, right? But yeah, this is actually very interesting, Christian, because we'll see and this is the point that the most important point in our conversation today is the future of Star Atlas and the ecosystem that will be born from the necessity of doing service, of acquiring goods inside the game. You see, when we say that Star Atlas is a game, it is very misleading on the real fact that we are reproducing the real life economical structure inside a game scenario. You know, people have desires, people have necessities, and this always opens up space for people to make money. And since we touched on the idea of bounty hunting, I think that this is going to be one of the most interesting jobs in Star Atlas. It's not for other reason that Sandy's chosen this profession, you know? Because when you think about Star Atlas, as I have said many, many times, we are talking about a political game. And when we are talking about politics, when you are talking about alliance and a big and dynamic economy as Star Atlas proposes it to be, we know that some stuff and some very important stuff can't come up in public. You know, in my vision, it won't be common to see a big guild, a big organization as the Star Alliance attacking someone unless it's something really, really, really important or one of the many big guilds in the game. Sometimes they will need to do covert operations. Sometimes they will need to hire bounty hunters. And this profession has a huge market opportunity in Star Atlas due to the very nature of the game, which implies that some stuff should not rise to the public eyes and need to be dealt with most discretion and swiftness, if we may say it like that. So yeah, those who are thinking about being a bounty hunter, you can be sure that there will be plenty of work to be done. Star Atlas, right, Santi?
Yeah, for sure. Very high risk as well. A lot of different professions with low risk than the lower risk than being a bounty hunter. But I think that it's good on the point that you need to see Star Atlas and business that you can do inside Star Atlas just as real life. There will be, when we start progressing in the game and having more modules, there will be more markets created, I think, organically from the players. So today, nowadays, we have some professions, some high-level professions in the economics paper, but I think that there's a lot more to be created, just like Christian says, for example, yes, that Christian has. That is huge. And even right now, there are people already living, getting a living from the Star Atlas metaverse, just by, for example, staking ships or working in a guild. I know that, for example, there are guilds with paid positions. So these professions are already happening right now, even in this like super early stage, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome because I don't know, the players, the community can build up lots of value by doing in-game professions, as we were saying, and as metaverse professions, as Christian brought into our conversation. Can we measure the value of a good ambassador in Star Atlas? It is priceless, guys. It is simply priceless. Someone who can make alliance, who has the vision of how things will play out, someone who can organize the faction DAO to efficiently use the machine of war which the factions has access to. This is something that's on the scenario that the faction will have millions and millions of Atlas worth of dollars, someone who can gather the support of a relevant part of the community and unite people to act together, you are basically worth a few $1,000,000 at the least. And yes, Star Atlas will bring this career for people in the metaverse on every level. Every region DAO will need their ambassadors because you will be dealing with your neighbors, you'll be dealing with the faction politics, you'll be dealing with the different guilds that compose the region, the enemies from other factions. But yeah, being a diplomat in Star Atlas is a great career, which can bring you lots of wealth, especially if you are able to do your job properly. And we have lots of ambassadors already in Star Atlas. There are lots of every channel of the big guilds you can see the ambassador role. Yes, this is a very interesting and important mechanic for our game. And well, I'm pretty excited for this specific part of the game. The ability, the ones who will lead the politics, the one who will make alliance, because this has already started, guys. We have here members from lots of big guilds, lots of influent people, lots of very professional players who will dedicate their lives to build up their communities, their guilds here in Star Atlas. And we are not even started. We are not even started. And imagine the potential when we have the actual models that will involve the politics and the diplomacy. Those who are working on this now, they will be in a huge advantage. As I said in one of my articles, your trust, your word, your honor in Star Atlas is worth more than police. If you are respected in the community, you'll find a good guild who will bring you to a good position where you can rise, where you can build, where you can grow. And yes, there's so much opportunities in this career plan, of the diplomacy.
I saw a lot of different people from the start of the Star Atlas community, and I can personally say that in the last 1 year I managed to speak with extremely well-versed professionals from all corners of the planet in all different jobs, and all of those people were very interested in building in the Star Atlas or the Interstellar Alliance. But for example, if there is no position for those people, I my personal recommendation is if you are capable of taking responsibility and you have the necessary free time, the necessary organizational abilities, and pretty much the necessary skills to build a community and to try to create some kind of a tool or service or something like this, which will be uh, semi-unique to the metaverse. I think this will be a lot more important than most people think. For example, in the Interstellar Alliance, if we don't have some kind of a specific job that I can give to someone or something like this, and I see that this person is very competent, I rather advise him, to start his own community and just try to build some kind of a tool or service, just like I said before, because those there is a lot of competent people, and if they are not encouraged to try to build their own thing, I think this was for the entire community. For example, some of the bigger communities that were formed out of the Interstellar Alliance and the things that we are building from the past 1 year, I think that their growth rate is exponential. Like they grew so fast and so well that I'm actually extremely proud that I was able to encourage people to really just do what they are able to, right? Because if people are not encouraging each other, I think the metaverse will be a lot more like boring in a way, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Christian. You touched a very important point. Good players will be an asset for the guilds. So yeah, those knowledgeable players, those who put on some effort, those who knows how the politics, how the alliance, how the economy in the game works, the guilds will need those players. And the guilds, well, some of them already have lots of money, lots of atlas, lots of police. And once the game starts and the economy will start spinning and growing, they will need people to fill their ranks. They will need people to uh, become leaders. Because as we were discussing the other day, the map will be huge. The metaverse is gigantic. It is absolutely impossible for 2 or 3 people coordinate a guild of thousands of people. It's simply impossible. So yes, we will need structures, and the guilds will become more and more professional because the leaders, people like you, people like the leaders of the other big DAOs, they are professionals. They are here to become leaders in the next age of human engagement model. They are looking to start a new business. Big guilds, big families, people who are looking for professional work. And yes, there will be a place for everyone there. Especially for the qualified players, the players that knows their jobs, who grind the skills, who get the good professions. All professions will be good, but who become reference in their professions. We'll have teachers in Star Atlas. Like I will be hiring teachers for the Notopia University. And those teachers will simply teach people how to perform well in the game. It's an entirely new profession born from our metaverse. People will teach in-game skills of Star Atlas, how the economy works, how the logistics gonna work, how to protect a supply route, how to ambush an enemy, how to do bounty hunting, how to negotiate assets in game, how to do trades on the coins of the game like Atlas and Polis. There are a sea of knowledge that will be born with the game's structures. And this sea of knowledge, this sea is the metaverse. And even though our gaming structure will be huge with thousands of possibilities, the metaverse, the growing professionals, and the secondary works, if we may say like that, will be an even bigger market. A very urgent and dynamic market with opportunities for people from every different background, every different desire. Like maybe you'll be an English teacher in Star Atlas because there will be demand for that. You can be a Portuguese teacher, you can be a French teacher, you know? And people will be playing the game like a few hours a day, and when they finish doing their daily tasks, he'll come for his class in the metaverse, you know? And this is the kind of possibility that I want to expand and bring awareness to in our chat today. There is a sea of stuff, and we are only bound by our imaginations.
Those are really nice points. And I would like to ask you about the university that you're planning to build. The United Metaverse Organization and the Interstellar Alliance, we are working with together with the Saya DAO, which is DAO created by the Interstellar Alliance community, and the people who wanted to band together and purchase the higher level ships. So together we are planning to create something like a university where it will be decentralized for our people who want to be able to send their NPCs or their avatars or whatever else they can have, like which can be educated or trained in one big metaverse university. And we also want to employ real teachers, like for example, just like you give the example with the English teachers, we'll also vow, all kinds of different individuals who just have some kind of a life experience, and they are able to just teach people different skills. For example, the book organization, who is also pretty much was born out of the Interstellar Alliance, will be one of the parts of the Alliance which is responsible for the education of people and training pilots and all kinds of different people. And from several different organizations, they will be sending their people there, right? So, because we're thinking that if everybody is going to the same university with our avatars, maybe we'll be able to get some kind of bonuses. I remember I was hearing some stuff like this. So maybe this will be interesting to be explored. Decentralized university.
Yeah, guys, imagine the possibilities. Like we'll have teachers from every corner of the world with different life experience. And then you go there, you learn from those guys. Like maybe you'll be able to have bounty ranting classes with Santi. Imagine that now. It would be completely awesome, to learn from people who are reference in their fields of expertise, Maybe Ash could teach people some digital influence, right, Ash? I'm seeing you there. If you want to step up, Ash, and talk, we will be delighted to hear from you as well. I know she's here right now, but we have all those possibilities of sharing and bringing experience inside the game. Something that even more, let's say, abstract. For example, I am a lawyer in real life, and I work making contracts. Can you imagine how many contracts, how much contracts gonna be necessary in Star Atlas? Guild alliance treaties, commercial treaties, supply routes usage treaties, Those skills, those legal skills gonna be necessary in Star Atlas, because when someone violates a binding agreement in Star Atlas, they will give cause to an invasion, for example. So maybe we'll see the birth of the first law institutions in the metaverse. How cool is that, right? And the same thing's gonna happen with architects, for example. Imagine you are developing your guild homeworld and you want to do some urbanization there. You want to live in a cool place, right? Who doesn't? We'll be spending lots of time inside Star Atlas. So yeah, maybe you hire an architect to make the constructions in your guild and place and build those awesome 3D palaces that we'll have in the Eugene 5, where you can see the sun setting down at the end of the day, and you think that, oh my god, life is good, you know? So yeah, uh, we'll see lots of different careers, some careers that we don't even know that they exist yet. Some careers that will be born together with our metaverse. Things that we are not even aware that are possible, that the game will make possible for us. For an example, another different kind of career, there will be the pharmaceutical industry in Star Atlas, you know? You might be a researcher who will cook new recipes for steam packs, some stuff like that, you know? Imagine actually making drugs inside Star Atlas, you know? And there will be a place for people who want to do that. And that's the cool thing about our game. There will be a place for everyone. Every kind of activity will generate revenue for the one performing it. You just have to find and understand the market. Just like in real life, you know? People make money from the most varied and different ways. And yeah, maybe we'll see things that we are not even aware that's possible nowadays.
Now I'll tell you something pretty cool that I was thinking one night. Imagine that governments in the future are forced to have their own metaverse council or even a government building. Like, what was the name? Yeah, like, government buildings in different nations. Imagine if they are forced to have one of those in a metaverse type of environment, because the metaverse is producing, let's say, a pretty good amount of their percentage of yearly GDP, right? So if a nation is acquiring big percent of their national GDP, maybe they will be forced to have their own DAO and their own national representatives in this metaverse, just because too much money are coming from that place for them and it's too important for them. This will be very interesting thing, because this is the first time when you can actually decentralize government. Because if they have their own DAO in the metaverse, people will be able to stake their token, for example, there or something like this. So this is interesting.
Yeah, Christian, I have never thought about that possibility, man. It is, yeah, guys, this is the kind of stuff that we learn when we are in this community. We learn something new every single day. And yeah, as Christian said, there are so many different possibilities of stuff that we will see brought into life together with our metaverse, you know. And yeah, I'm super excited for that. And maybe we could start checking the questions of our community members. If someone wants to step up and ask things about careers, about your future vision of Star Atlas, maybe we can start answering those, right, Santi?
Yeah. Having some.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, perfect. So I would like to speak now. Even tell us like your dream career inside Star Atlas. I would love to hear that, even if it's super crazy. I mean, if it's super crazy, it's better. So I would like to encourage like anyone who wants to tell us like what will be the best career for you inside Star Atlas and what you would love to do. I think
Yeah, maybe we can give you some ideas about how to perform and the possibilities and what we expect from one of the careers you guys are thinking about going. So let us hear you all.
All right, I got this. I want to be a bounty hunter. Absolutely. I'm kind of interested to see. I kind of said it in the chat a little bit, but I'm kind of interested to see like how much actual gaming skill that will take. Like for example, I played competitive Call of Duty, and a couple things that you needed to have is you needed to play like 12 to 14-hour days. You needed to be able to aim correctly. You needed to have a good reaction time and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see how a good bounty hunter with all these like really good gaming skills will translate into Star Atlas.
I have great expectations for this, Dominic, because as you said, there are two main factors on, I believe, most of the professions. First, there's the skill tree progression. Like, the more you do something, the better you become at it in game structure. Like, you'll be more efficient, you'll have better perks, you have additional abilities which the lower tier players won't have access to. And then there are the mechanics, right? The actual driving, the aiming. And yeah, I think that a professional bounty hunter, someone who will actually live on this, he'll be someone like on the same level of a professional game player. And that's something I'm glad that I remembered that. Thanks for your question. We will see, and I'm 100% sure that this is gonna happen in Star Atlas. We will have someday a live television showing the game development. Like there will be a TV station in Star Atlas, and they will go around filming and bringing the news about the big events that are happening in Star Atlas. So eventually, this will bring people from out of Star Atlas to watch the development of the plots and agendas and wars and gameplays of Star Atlas. Who wouldn't want to see something like that? The big guilds fighting a war using 5 graphics, people flying, things exploding, uh, treaties and betrayals, stuff like that. So yeah, maybe we'll have reporters inside Star Atlas, and that might be a really interesting profession as well. And yeah, this is so cool. I would like someone from the Pirates Guilds to discuss their ideas as well. We have a few members from some of them here, and maybe they can bring some awareness about their pirate codes stuff and environment.
Yeah, we have people from them both. They're dedicated pirates. If I'm wrong, please correct me, guys. But I would love to hear some insights on what you guys think that you, for example, by being a pirate inside Star Atlas, where you will be spending like the most of your time. For example, a pirate, I assume that you won't be spending a lot of your time in the safe zone, for example. So I would love to hear like more insight on what a pirate is, Star Atlas and its role.
We have any official from School and Bonds here? I guess Bomber was here earlier. Well, I can, until someone from School and Bonds steps up. I remember listening to an interview that Bomber, the leader of the School and Bonds, had with Aaron from Atlas Fury, and those guys are expecting to make big stuff in Star Atlas. And this is really cool because here we have members from Interstellar Alliance on this chat, and we have members from the Pirates Guilds, people who will most likely be at odds during the gameplay. And yeah, everyone has their philosophies, everyone has their ideas of how the world of Star Atlas should work, how things should function, how the gameplay should be able to develop inside the game. And that's cool because there is a place for everyone. And if you think about it, you guys need each other for the mechanics in game to work. So yeah, we will need pirates, we will need order as well. And those two kinds of players will be at odds, but at the end of the day, they are part of the same ecosystem, you know? The game will need NFTs to be burned, they need risk on the logistics, and the economy needs this for it to work functionally. Yeah, this is so cool, man. You know, there will be people who will live on the high risk zone almost the entirety of their gameplay time, and that's something that the guys from school and the bomber said on the interview. He's looking forward to be an inhabitant of the deep space, and that's awesome. You know, some players might not even go to the safest zones, as I believe that we'll see lots of stuff and even cities, even space stations inside the deep space. So yeah, maybe you'll be one of those right risk people, loving people, will work your entire time in the deep space. Or you can play on the safe zone and work on the one of the metaverse industries that doesn't require deep space gameplay, you know? And the cool thing is that again, we have a place for everyone here. So yeah, if anyone wants to share their professional ideas or questions about careers, we want to hear them.
Fine.
We hear you pretty
I would like
low.
to just say.
Yeah, you're coming in a little low.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Still low, but I think we
1-1.
get.
Do you have something on your mic? Like the static kind of the thing that gets rid of static?
No. Let me check it 1 second.
It just sounds like something's blocking your mic, if that makes sense.
Well, it's just a shitty mic, maybe because yeah, I think it's just a shitty mic. Anyway,
Yeah,
guys,
we can turn your volume up.
Yeah, we turn your volume up.
Just
Please
right
go,
click
man.
on us and volume up.
So my name is A Hardes Bulk. You're looking up. I would like to represent the side of the law, but also I would like to express my point of view. You know, so maybe that you think. So I'm Chris, and awful players. You know, all the systems, all players, ops, or I just up to everyone to role play his. What I do is start with is nice part, because I'm sure that we're all going to all be good. I am hoping maybe part is on maybe about looked at the or something. How it is. It's a little bit complex to get into what we are doing the alliance. We're doing is basic stuff like that in a simulated game. For me, that I wonder now at this point is how closely will the game. So if I'm used to, you know, playing that simulator, you know, here for me to learn another space simulator or flight simulator. But sure, the graphics will figured out. I'm just, hoping that the food for thought and power to the people, guys.
Thank you,
Awesome,
friend.
man. That's awesome. Like I got chills you talking about we are on the side of the law, and that's huge, man. It's something so cool to see the philosophy, the things you stand for. And yes, you are right. The focus is the game, because money and everything else will come with a crazily good game. And yeah, what we are doing here, what the team is doing, is trying to work out the best mechanics, the best experience on terms of gameplay, because this will make people dive into the game. It's gonna be immersive. And yes, you are the side of law, and you are upholding your values, and will focus on professional gameplay. And on the other side, we have our pirates. We have the three people. We have people like Bomber, who's actually here with us now. Can you hear us, Bomber? Bomber?
Are you, Bomber?
He's gone into
Just-
the abyss.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. I mean, I'm really happy to meet the other side because obviously I've been dealing with the other side in Elite Dangerous, which is I can't wait actually to meet the other side. That was because for me it's not the other side. We're all part of the same thing. We're doing each other content. We're engaging and don't need to the life. Of course, in Star Atlas, it will be about money. So I expect more mature players to be 12 years old. But can't wait to, I think, not always is the other side. I would like to say that really cool situations with the other side and we help each other possible times to survive. So sometimes there people from the other side are up publicly, which I just want to say personally.
Man, Hardes, that was awesome, man. And yes, you touched a very important point. Even though we are in abstract in maybe different sides, we are all part of community. We are all gamers. Yeah, people might have different philosophies and stuff and different points of views. And as you said, it is awesome to get to know other people's points of views as you from the law side, the pirate side, the ones who doesn't really care about politics, the ones that will try to move the politic inside the game. And yeah, those are all legit paths inside the game. And this is really cool because in opportunities like this, we got to meet, we got to understand how people are working, how people are feeling about Star Atlas, how people are preparing and thinking their strategies, their games. And it's awesome to be here with you guys. We have people from very, very different backgrounds, many different guilds with different ideas, and everyone is sharing their thoughts and plans for the future. And this is how you're gonna build the best game. Because at this moment, what we are doing and what we need to do is to work together to help the team develop the best game that they can. To give suggestions, to stick with them, to find ways to improve their reasoning and create new structures. And I guess that Bomber is ready to talk. Bless us with some pirate talk, man.
What's good, everyone? How you doing? Thanks for having me up here.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about the pirates' point of view of our current events and how things gonna play out in Star Atlas as a pirate?
Well, first and foremost, we got to say it's all theory crafting right at this point. Nothing set in stone. Everything can change at the drop of a dime. So what we're thinking about at current and large is Piracy is really just going to be the people that have the guts and balls to really spend their time in deep space, considering that that's really the whole act, right, is going to be hacking, whether it's a shipping line, an enemy, what have you. It's going to be all take place essentially in Zone 2 and 3. Not much piracy is done in Zone 1, albeit we definitely will have certain bases there, but, majority is going to be deep space. So at least one thing I can say for certain is that if you want to get into piracy, you expect war, certainly. So
isn't that simply amazing, guys? Pirates are for people with guts and balls.
crazy to think that in a game that essentially it's not only a role, right, in the gameplay sense. It's actual piracy. I mean, we actually are going to be taking assets from other people, real cash value. So it's a pretty insane concept to think about. And I'm really excited to just continue to watch it develop and grow. From the first days where we sort of brought it out from the depths to now seeing other guilds develop and evolve under the same sort of mindset, sort of motto, right? It's incredible.
Yeah, guys, and this is the experience that I hope to bring you all today, to see how the community is working, how everyone is strategizing, how everyone is building up their ideas, their philosophies. So yes, we heard someone at the side of the law. We heard a pirate, a very good pirate, if I may say. Bomber is actually a very active member in our community, and he's bringing awareness about the game, and he's true to his philosophy. He's a really cool guy. And yes, everyone can learn, see the possibilities that those players are building, the community is building. Like, we have so many different philosophies and points of views and opportunities, Some people will hunt Bomber in the game. Maybe they will place a bounty in his head, and he's okay with that. His way of living, his way of his beliefs, and his way of making money. And that's the game, That's Atlas.
I'd be a really shitty pirate if I have no bounties on my head. So
yeah, it'd be actually shameful, right? To have a bounty of 1,000 Atlas,
You're the first one putting on my head, man.
Of course not.
I kind of have a question for that for you.
We're homies.
Of course.
So Bomber, do you have any precautions with like other pirate decks kind of coming at you? Because I'm sure like are pirates gonna like team up with each other? I doubt that for sure. Do you have precautions kind of set up? Because you're gonna have bounties on you. Other pirate guilds are gonna be coming at you. And you'll have to be also hunting other people while also watching your back. So I mean, there has to be a lot of need for defense there, right?
Yeah, I think even more so than defense, I really think you're referring to trust, right? Because in an environment where, especially in a bounty environment where whoever pays the most, right, is gonna take the job, and they don't really care who they destroy. I think it's gonna be more important than ever to really have strong alliances. Now, that being said, we were the first pirate guild to be out in this game. Very happy to see other ones come out since then. With a couple of them we have allianced with, and others we've kind of leaned towards the opposite of what you're mentioning, right? Where sort of our interests are too aligned, and that's essentially just being competition. So I think it's really on a guild per guild basis. I think you're going to see both. I think you're going to see pirates that align with each other based on essentially faction interests or trading interests or just friendship interests. And I think you're going to see also the opposite, just the same. Pirates who essentially do not get along, and you will see, wars between them. So that answers your question.
I would love to also add.
Sure, go, please.
Please add.
Yeah. I would love to also add something. The Moon Man here, some of you guys know me. What's up, everybody? Thank you for hosting this. But just speaking on pirate guilds and things like that, I think for the pirate guilds, it's going to get very ugly. And I think pirate guilds are going to have a problem with trust amongst other pirate guilds because there's going to be espionage, there's going to be hackers, and it's going to get really ugly for them. And I think it's also going to get really ugly for teams that have to go against the Pirates. So I think that whole debacle is going to be probably one of the ugliest things that you see in this game. And then also just to throw out to everybody, we all talk about high risk. We all talk about, can you guys still hear me? Yeah. We all talk about high risk zone and stuff like that. We have to think about this. First and foremost, everybody's ready to play this game. Everybody's ready to go out in high risk. The game is 3 years away, but if I were to tell you that the game is tomorrow, how many of you guys are actually willing to put $10,000 on the line? Obviously, if you're in a guild, that's going to be a lot better because you're going to have a lot more defense and a coordinated team. But how many people really right now are able to stomach the fact that you can log on tonight, 8 p.m. Central Time, wherever you're at, or even in 1 minute, right? Go online, 15 grand ship that you own. It's maybe gone up in cost and now its value is $24,000. How many are able to actually stomach flying into deep space and losing at all? So I think
the question is, if we're ready, Skull and Bones would go right fucking now to deep space. So
yeah, so I'm talking about everybody as a whole. Who is actually ready to stomach the loss of thousands of dollars that you've worked up for 4 years when this game comes out? And obviously teams are going to be much stronger. They're going to be much larger. But that's what people really have to consider is real trust, real stomaching of losing assets, and just espionage and so many crazy things that are going to happen, kind of since we're talking about how things can get crazy. But I would love to keep this discussion up. So anybody talk on it.
If I could piggyback off that, you're 100% accurate, right? And it really attests to why joining a guild is so important in this game, right? Because normal games, having trust, is important, right? If your character dies, maybe you lose some items, maybe you lose progress, maybe you lose XYZ. But it's few and far in between where you play a game where you're going to be losing actual cash, as you mentioned, right? And this could be taking a day for some people up to years of worth of hard-earned money to do some of these things. So for activities, as we're mentioning, right, where, as you said so clearly, going into deep space, etc., it's going to require a lot for the daily user to be able to go in there. And I think sort of what I touched on originally back with Atlas Theory was that I think piracy guilds at large will also allow players to sort of experience that side of the game without having so much, I guess you could say, downside risk. So that is certainly something I'm looking forward to. And also on the other end, right, as you said, espionage, etc., guilds like Syntax, who are specifically designed for spying, I think that is going to be one of the most important parts of this game. And just excited to see how that plays out also.
Yeah, I got one question for you. And respectful question. Love to hear your real answer, honest answer on this. Yeah, totally. Being a pirate guild and being the leader of that, and obviously now being out there, what on the inside to your DNA core says, I actually want to go into this game and people over and take their shit and get richer and richer and not give a damn that I'm taking hard-earned money from these people? And I have nothing against it. I just want to hear your honest opinion, because that's what's going to be happening, what pirates are going to be doing. But yeah, what's the real answer to that makes you want to just fuck everybody over?
So at its core, right, when I got into this game, I first found Star Atlas from the IDO through Radium, and it was just, I was like, wow, what a great way to make money. So as a trader. Then I started digging in, and just like everyone else, you fall into this fucking rabbit hole, and you're like, holy shit, this is the greatest thing ever. So like every other game, I sort of did my research, etc. And sort of to who I am in MMORPGs, I've always been a PvPer. That's just who I am, a min-maxer PvPer to the core. I play games to get to the end so I could grind out, so I can beat other players. So for me in this game, it has nothing to do with taking someone else's cash. That's just a byproduct of player versus player gameplay for me. You raise a good point, and like I mentioned earlier, right, we are in essence true pirates. We will be taking people's money, but it's their decision to be in that zone to begin with. They don't want to be there. That's their prerogative. So for me, it had nothing to do with taking people's assets. It really had to be with the style of gameplay that I enjoy as an RPG or MMO or whatever type of game I'm playing. Is really at a certain point I can beat the computer infinite amount of ways and it's boring. But playing against another player is always a real life player. To me, is the biggest challenge, and that's really what inspired me to make the PvP based guild, right? And I've always just loved pirates. Like, that's just my thing forever. So it kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for the answer. I appreciate that. And this is the Moon Man speaking. Thank you for giving an honest answer. And yeah, man, I would love to have you on the Moon Man experience sometime and talk more about that.
Yeah, I would love to join. I do have to just talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk.
I'd like to add about that, Moon Man. It's always a pleasure to have you, man. And thank you for coming, raising an important question. An important concern. Star Atlas is a game.
Thank you,
it's a game on the name, but this is actually really serious business. When everyone here is an adult, I hope so at least. Everyone should behave as an adult. So everyone here knows how the structure of the game is gonna work. There will be a special place called the high risk zone, where you will be able to lose your assets. And that's part of the gaming structure. And I'm sure, 100% sure, that there will be warnings like, in game, you are now entering the high risk zone. Should you continue going that way, you risk losing your assets and stuff like that. So yeah, people will know what they are going into, and people should be responsible enough to know the consequences of their actions. We see in every different kind of activity that humanity does, people taking risks that they are not able to stomach, as Oman said. And that's especially important in Star Atlas. This is actually something that I talk about with all guild leaders and members when I go to their Discord and I participate on their events. Star Atlas is real and it's serious. And it is this structure that allows us to make a living on the game. Star Atlas nature need pirates. Otherwise, we will have zero risk and people would be generating wealth without any concern. This would lead to a crisis in the market and it would crash our economy and the game wouldn't be sustainable. Sorry, I sometimes struggle with the words. So yes, they are necessary. People with this philosophy enriches our ecosystem. The different philosophies, the different nature, the different views about how the game should work and how wealth should be generated, different strategies, they are all part of Star Atlas. This is an adult's game. And this is actually really close to real life. There won't be second chances for people who takes the game that underestimates the game. You should really manage your risks. You should really pay attention to what are you doing, and you should play Star Atlas and act like an adult. So you don't go regretting or spending money that you are not allowed to lose, like money of rent, money of the groceries for your children, things like that. This is something that we all who are here, the pioneers, the guild leaders, should hammer inside people's heads every day. Star Atlas is serious. Star Atlas is promising ways of making a living, but it also requires responsibility from everyone who is in this space.
I think is there a KYC going to be associated with this game? So, I mean, it's an adult game, but if you don't have KYC, then you're going to have people under the age of 18 playing the game.
Yeah. So I would say like it's all up to the discretionary of who's behind the money on the paying of these things. You know, like there's not going to be a limitation towards what age can actually play and so on, but more so who's putting the money behind it and so on. If the parents are willing for like a child to play with a $15 ship or something on that sort and so on, then you know the child has that opportunity and everything like that. But it's all up to the parents to like discrepancy on that matter. Basically, at the end of the day, I would say.
But also, if you have KYC, that's going to there's nobody anonymous then, and that gets real sketchy in life, and it's going to get real ugly in the game, possibly that high risk zone. And if there's a KYC, nobody is anonymous anymore, and who knows what'll translate to the real world. Just being honest, a lot of money being lost.
Yeah, to touch on that, someone did mention that to me very early on in this game. They were like, "Are you concerned with someone coming after you in the real world?" But it was something I had to sort of toss around in my head, right, and debate whether or not it'd be worth it. But as sort of Zest said very eloquently, it's a game. You know, it's part of the game, and like just because you partake in it and essentially lose in that part of the game doesn't mean it shouldn't be involved, like or part of the system, right? So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it develops. How leaders such as myself or the subsequent pirate guilds or other PvP based guilds, they don't even need to necessarily be just pirates, but how that all shakes out with their in-game persona and their real world persona, sort of how the community takes that. It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, I think it's interesting also, but I don't think it's as new as everybody thinks it is. This is happened in the 1500s. We knew that we shouldn't go out in the sea, in the deep sea, because there's pirates there. That's why it's outlawed now. So I don't want this game to be a liable security, and it sounds like it's probably going to be.
I think
one of there's security in place from the game, and then if you don't want to risk it, you safe zone. If you want to risk it, you go in the high zone. And I just wanted to, guys, as I represent the side of the law, I don't represent the side of the law. I just have a lawful opinion. I play the same role play in the game the same way. Someone will choose the other way. So I just want to hear the conversation. Don't turn it into something like we quarrel about what is better to be a pirate or a cop. Let's see. I want to ask Onin, who is I haven't seen for a long time, and I'm not sure voice man. Can you get some leakage out of Santi or out of some people out of team because about the simulation of going to be virtually or not?
I mean, if I was to, I don't know, like I'll see what I can do to get some information and so on. But I'm pretty sure like when any like actual game comes out with like most of its design and everything like that, it's very heavily derived of what like is previously there and everything like that. Most games like follow off of things that were previously there, and so I think in terms of like some aspects of Elite Dangerous and so on, I definitely think there'll be some aspects of it, but all of the aspects, maybe not all of it, because remember there's different things that are coming in with like UE5, and then how everything is going to be portrayed across for you and so on. So we're basically getting an entire mixture of like Elite Dangerous, Star Citizens, Stellaris, and a few other ones as well, and everything like that combined into everything that's going on here. So I definitely hands down think that it's going to be like a few learning curves. But if you've been playing like space games for most of your life and everything like that and so on, and you understand what's the whole like how should I say it, the whole like what you want to do in space and things like that and so on, I think Star Atlas is probably going to offer you one of the biggest variety of things that you've ever thought you can possibly do in just the games that you currently know, compared to what is to come for Star Atlas.
Right, man. I'm just, I'm also about the realism of, because the games are getting better and better. I mean, with this Unreal Engine 5, I don't know how far you got in it last time we talked, but I know that you were doing stuff. You know, the physics in it are they going to be realistic, or you expect some like it's anomalies or like that? How many star systems would be something similar like Elite Dangerous? There is only the Milky Way, man, and it's almost infinite.
Yeah.
Sorry, please go.
No. So in regards to that and so on, like from what I do know and so on, like with what most of Star Atlas's team is hired and everything like that, when it comes to people who are designing things and things like that, like behind the physics and how everything will work and so on, I'm pretty sure I know that most of the people who are working on those areas, they are involving like constant physics based on like how like realistic factors, basically, like gravitational pull, all of those kind of things, Milky Ways, the creation of new things, how a star can explode, things like that. Like random anomalies that could happen throughout everything that goes on inside of stuff. Like, so sorry, Nina, I didn't mean to cut you off or anything.
Sorry, Ronnie, please.
No, you're fine. So there's a whole bunch of things that we can look forward to. There's stuff obviously that some aspects in other games might not come with, for instance. But if you're talking about mostly realistic factor, how your gameplay factors and things like that, most of it most likely will be within Star Atlas itself and so on. Obviously at a much higher level because of the fact that it's being done through like the whole 3D thing, and when you're in the 3D moments and so on, you want everything to be perfect. So that's all I have to say on that, basically.
Yeah, and adding to Ronnie's answer, Shipto is actually expertise is this exactly field, about the experience of building a spaceship. So yeah, Harez, I think that we will see a pretty realistic experience regarding piloting and fights in the space and things like that. Yeah, we'll see some pretty crazy and wild stuff, in my opinion.
One of the things that also we have to take into consideration, and this comes from someone that has been involved in like EVE Online since the early wars in EVE Online in 2006, all the way to Star Citizen as an org founder as of right now since 2015. First of all, to add up to the great conversation that our lawful and unlawful friends had here, I think we have to be very mindful on the fact, and that is a conversation that has also been had in all those games that Atlas is taking inspiration from. And for those veterans that come from those games, I'm pretty sure you'll be acquainted with this from EVE, from Stellaris, and from Star Citizen also. It's kind of a hard conversation to have, but those games are not meant for everybody. It takes a certain level of resilience and a certain je ne sais quoi for those that are involved in those games, because those games, like our pirate friend said here, can be tough. Like Moonman said, they have consequences. I have spent tens of thousands of dollars in Star Citizen and on a dream that I think it will come to fruition. And we're all, because of the same reason here in Star Atlas. But eventually, people like our pirate friends here are going to try to take our ships away from us, and we will have to defend ourselves, and there will be consequences because of that. And I first realized this when I joined EVE. And again, for those that have been involved in EVE, I have been involved in EVE since 2004, and I have been through huge wars there and huge conflicts all the way to Star Citizen. And it's going to take a very specific mind frame to be able to endure those. Hopefully people that are going to get involved in Star Atlas will understand the fact that those things will happen. And like Sesk says, and like we have discussed in Twitter, also in our interviews and spaces, that's meant to happen. People will have to understand the fact that it's coming. That is one of the reasons that being part of the guild is so important. I strongly suggest those that are not part of one to be part of one and join one. There are awesome people in Final Frontier, in AFIA, in pirate guilds, in club, that can help you with that. And yeah, it's something that's gonna be deep. It's something that's gonna be dangerous, and that will provide good things and bad things for everybody. And but you need to be within that mind frame that is gonna be consequential and that's gonna be tough, but ultimately fun as well. So yeah.
And I just want to add one more thing to that. Thank you. That was great what you said. Thank you for playing into that. One last thing that I would like to say, and then I'm going to let everybody speak, is I think everybody right now should be focusing on the team that they're a part of, finding yourself a guild if you're not a part of one, bringing value, but most importantly, doing all that you can to prepare yourself for when that game does come out, that Elite Dangerous Star Citizen, when you're actually fully immersed in it, past the Stellaris version, right? And everybody just do what you need to do in life to set yourself up to do this full time in 4 years, because this game is going to require you to play 14 to 16 hours a day. It's going to be crazy. It'll be weird because you're playing games that long in a day, but just get ready and prepare yourself and do all the financial things that you need to do in life so you're able to sustain the life of playing 16 hours a day. That's all I would like to say, because this is going to get real, y'all. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Moment is awesome, guys. But yeah, he touched a very important point. Star Atlas is by nature a community game. Yeah, of course, you can play alone in the safe zone, try to mine your own stuff, craft your own ships, and be part of the market only to sell and acquire goods. But that's not efficient. As I started our conversation talking about, specialization is the soul of Star Atlas. We have right now on our conversation about 100 people. And maybe we'll have 100 different play styles and specializations regarding skills. So yeah, Shipto said in one of his interviews that there will be tons and tons of skill tree progressions. And that makes that opens up a space for everyone to fill the roles that will be needed by a guild, a community, a faction, things like that. So if you want to prepare, you need to find like-minded individuals. So people that support you, that you can trust, that you can build up wealth with, and from whom you can acquire value and give back value. Because at the end of the day, you need someone to watch your back. The deep space, in the medium risk zone, you need people to help you acquire new ships, acquire stuff, acquire skills. No man will be alone in Star Atlas. And you need to find the right partners to partake in this epic and dangerous adventure.
Hey, ran there for a minute.
I mean, if he's you can ask the question and so on directed at him.
No, it's not really directed at him. I want to touch base on this $10,000 ship thing, and I wholeheartedly was. Tell you something. I'm a PKer. I'm a bounty hunter. I'm a gangster. If you blow up my $15 bike, I will hunt someone down till the ends of the galaxies just because I lost something. Not even as far as the monetary value. It's both, really. But I mean, there's a few of us in Alessio that are working on a commercialized version of bounty hunting, assassins, escorts. I can't say too much because there's a way to make salaried escorts that are available to, say, customers or what have you. But I mean, as far as even grief wars, things like this, I mean, I'm laying out a roadmap for just something special just for this little area. And Newt, stop dropping my alpha on TV news channels, dude. You're killing me.
Yeah, let's go, Frankie. I love you, Frankie Diamonds. I'm dressed in all black. I'm feeling slick right now. I'm feeling good. Frankie's hollering at me. Hope the Star Atlas community is ready. But yeah, man, I mean, these people are going to be hunting for ships, and It's gonna get crazy, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Frankie, I love you.
It's good for business, man. It's good for business.
I could hear Napoleon right now in Frankie's voice.
This is Lumina from Kuwait. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would like to reiterate Newt's question and respond to the previous one. He said, if you guys want to share what you want to do in Star Atlas. Personally, as a college professor, I would like to continue my occupation in the Star Atlas universe and hopefully build a university, college. I'm already creating a list of teachers, assistants, some students who are going to take courses, will vary from IT to biology, from engineering to anything you name it. That's my personal goal, apart from obviously enjoying the game, but hopefully we will create this environment. I mean, maybe Christian already mentioned a few of it, but UMA is also currently working on it too. So for those of you out there who are interested in education, teaching different topics, being a subject matter experts on certain areas in your real world, you're more than welcome to join us and we can collaborate. And I'm really, that's one of my goals in Star Atlas for sure, to create an education environment.
Awesome, man. I don't even know what to say because this is actually really important, guys. Taking away all the politics and different ways of views and etc. Education is something really important. And I live in a third world country. I live in Brazil, and it's really hard to get a good education here in Brazil. I can say with absolute certainty that I am blessed with a privileged environment, which allowed me to learn English, which allowed me to reach for good education. But 99% of Brazil doesn't have access to that. And hearing people like Lumina talking about that, about bringing knowledge, bringing education inside our metaverse, it actually brings me a lot of hope, of how we actually will manage to break the system, about how we will actually find a way to, give people opportunities. And this is also what Star Atlas is about. It's a better version of the current reality that we live in. Yes, of course, we'll see lots of different things, both beautiful and dreadful. But yes, this really important part of Star Atlas, the part which brings the whole world together in an economical and political environment which allows people to reach for greater things, new opportunities that they wouldn't ever have access in their home countries and lives. This is special. As Christian said, we'll be generating lots of jobs. We'll create a whole new industry. And we will actually employ people and pay them wages that they have never dreamed of receiving. If you think, and I'll share with you guys. For example, let us say a legal compact hero, which is worth around $4,000. If you think in terms of my country currency, it's more than a year's wage. You see, this is the kind of thing that the Brazilian personnel will be allowed to dream, allowed to reach, allowed to farm and grind and find his way into this kind of economic environment. And it's beautiful, it's important, it's precious. And by doing our activities while we make war, politics, and make the economy in Star Atlas work, we will also be giving those person inclusion. We'll also be bringing those people who are excluded from the economicals of their countries inside a land of opportunity. And this is one of the beautiful things about Star Atlas. We will be creating a new way of living for thousands and thousands of people.
I agree, Luke. I agree. Very well said. And also, just a quick thing, it's not really the marketing, but Quags is also currently doing a giveaway. So if you guys want to get free air bike, head to the Twitter.
That's awesome, guys. We have been going for what, 1 hour and a half with 100 people online. Everyone's super excited. This is high-level conversation. We got to see many different points of views, many standings and opportunities and alphas from different guilds, different perspectives. And yes, Santi, we need to do this more often, man.
Yeah, man.
This kind of event it's groundbreaking for me. Like, we got to chat with lots of different people at the same time. Everything works out fine. Everyone respects each other philosophies and their talks and speeches. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm loving this. We are going to do this every single week. That's for sure. Every single Wednesday. Okay.
Awesome,
What do you
Sam.
think, my man?
Yeah. Guys, we can do this every Wednesday. And maybe we can try to bring some people from other guys from the team to actually discuss this series with us, like to get another points of view from the team.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
Snoop Dogg.
as a part of an alpha here, I won't say alpha, but we have a town hall this week, so I'm kind of confirmed.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We
have a
Santi giving the leaks.
Yeah, due to leak that we will have leaks.
Yeah, maybe we'll learn some cool stuff on this Friday's town hall, guys. I'm having a good feeling about it.
I wonder.
We're all gonna pitch in and give you some XP. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, guys, I actually have to cook dinner now. My wife is waiting for me, and it's been awesome being here to chat with you guys this afternoon. I loved this experience. Next week, let us discuss. Santi, we can actually make a tab for the Atlas Brew on the Discord server.
Yeah, we'll create it.
Yeah, let's create it so we can vote on topics for our next week conversation. I guess it would be awesome to let the community discuss and tell us what they want to hear about.
Yeah, for sure. We will start thinking about the topic for.
And if you guys have any idea, just send it to me, to Santi, and let's discuss this. Because I think it was really I'm talking about for myself now, but this was one of the most interesting conversations that I had about Star Atlas in a while.
I will have some popcorn next time.
This is awesome, Sandy. So yeah, guys, I gotta go. Thank you very much for everything. It was awesome. I'm super hyped, and we'll meet each other on Friday, the next town hall.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you
Much
very
love.
much. Appreciate it.
Noot.
No.
You heard it from the man.
Oh my God!
Yo, did anybody hear that new? He said no.
I love it.
Oh, that was a wicked voice that he let out, dude. He hit the high notes. No.
Oh my God! Imagine when we meet each other in real life and you guys go like, do the nut, do the nut. Awesome, guys. See you all.
Right. See you on Friday in the town hall, and we will continue hosting this every single Wednesday. So I guess we will start having the Atlas Brew Wednesdays, guys. So I would love to have you all again next Wednesday to Eurocraft and chat. Just nerd about the metaverse and Star Atlas, because I know that you love it as much as I do. I love to have this space for the community.
It's awesome. Let's go, guys.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, Santi and Newt.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Agreed.
See you
Thank you,
guys.
See you, friends.
Good night.
Bye-bye.